everyone, Social Share Club. Oh boy, am I excited to get this show on the road because I've got a great friend with me who has been around the business for a very long time. My good friend, Tracey Napotnik with salontraining.com, and we're going to get into some great mindset and all of you hairstylists out there and business owners and leaders, just tune in because it's going to be so good working with uh, Tracy and jamming out with her. And we've just got some fun stories lined up for you. But first, hit the Trav trifecta, like, comment, and share to show that you care. And we are on air. And speaking of on air, let's jump into our sponsors. Head on over to onair.today and sign up for uh, the free audio based social media platform and check that out. It's in development. We need some testers. Head on over there and I'll be sending out emails here very shortly for people to jump in and test that. But if you are in business and you need help with a website, or you're on the struggle bus when it comes to your marketing, hit me up. Go over to trav.media. You see the link right here. And head on over to trav.media and check out. I've got some cool websites over there if you want to see some of the new websites or logos or brochures, billboards, trade show booths. The possibilities are limitless. But I digress. Enough about me. Let's talk about Tracy, my good friend Tracy. Tracy, what is going on? How are you doing today? Look at sitting outside. It's absolutely gorgeous out.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for jumping on. We we Tracy and I actually met through Toastmasters, which I will give a shameless plug on Toastmasters till my eyes bleed because I feel that strongly about the program, and I got to meet a wonderful individual that I remember one of the first times I met you. You were giving a presentation on shampoo. So after watching your presentation on shampoo, I believe it was the one takeaway was the water content behind shampoo in professional versus consumer brands. So, oh my goodness, that had to be, holy cow, maybe 8 years ago.
I think it was 6 years ago because my daughter, I think she was just around two, and my life was like kind of crazy at the time. And I didn't know if I could commit to it because she was so young, but I knew it was such a great program. So, yeah, probably about 6, 7 years ago, I guess now.
Yeah. And so you had been doing the in-person trainings, and Toastmasters is a wonderful way for people to um, sharpen their skills. You know, iron sharpens iron, and you have the ability to practice. Everyone's there to practice to get better. Like, such a supportive environment. You know, how long have you, let's talk about like your history. How long have you been in the salon game? Because you've got quite the experience and background, and we'll talk about your your most recent endeavor here soon. But
As a plane goes across my thing. Sorry. So you're right. It was so beautiful to be outside today. I said I couldn't be in my office. I needed to be outside enjoying this weather. So, yes. So sorry about the plane. But I've been in the industry for 28 years. Oh, not sure what happened.
hey, there you are.
Sorry about that. Something had just happened. Okay, so I've been in the industry for 28 years. I was in cosmetology school when I was in Admiral Perryville Tech up in Evansburg. I didn't even know that you can actually have a career in cosmetology. All I remember is going to get perms with my mom and just being around there, and it looks kind of cool. And I guess I shouldn't have done this on the phone because I'm getting a million calls all of a sudden for some reason. But yes, I just remember the smell of perms, and it was exciting. And I just wanted to be able to style hair and style my friends in the neighborhood, which is what I was always doing. I even remember putting like forks and stuff in my sister's hair and having her look all cool, just silly, crazy stuff since I was little, and thought it was like a piece of art. And so I've always loved having my fingers in people's hair. And so, yeah, 28 years ago, I stepped foot into Mrs. George's school, and I ended up loving it and realizing that you can make a career out of it. So I ended up working in Evansburg at, I love giving shout outs to places that I think have helped me along the way. So Holiday Hair in Evansburg was my first real job that took me on, and I started to learn what to do. And the boss up there is still there. Her name's Heather. She is incredible. She was kind of my person that led me to doing more things in my life. She was outstanding. So actually, just give a shout out. They are hiring at Holiday Hair in Johnstown. If anybody, she's a friend of mine, so I know they just said that they posted that. So yeah, and then I ended up deciding after a couple of years that I wanted to own my own salon. So 18 years ago, I decided to open my first salon, and it was in Tanneryville. It was a really small place in my house, and I was so excited. And I was there for 2 years. I worked pretty insane hours for a while. I worked Sundays, every single day that I would work because I wanted to build the business. And I know we had talked earlier about, why you are doing what you do, because you love business as much as I do. And I think sometimes people are afraid to take that step. And that's something that I talk about all the time. Just take the step. I took the step in my house, and 18 years later, I still own a business. It's definitely a little different now. So I know we were talking earlier, and I was saying about there's a real struggle when you open a business. I'm from the same town most of you guys probably are. And I know you have viewers from all over, correct? I mean, and there's a lot here in Johnstown area, but all over. Johnstown's definitely a beautiful area, and there's a lot of opportunity if you go after it. And so that's what I wanted to do. I went after the industry. After having the salon in my house, I decided to buy a building in actually in the west end of Johnstown, and ended up staying there for quite some time. Had a business in Richland and also in Nanoglow. I just kept getting different salons because I just had so much fun doing it, but didn't make any money. I was constantly busy, and you would think if your business is so busy that the money is there, but I spent the money everywhere. Like I ended up not wasting it, but just there were so many expenses that I didn't realize, because I think when you start knowing your craft, in my instance, I felt like I knew how to do hair really well and get clients, but I didn't know how to run a business per se. So I don't know, like Travis, I know you and I talked to you about, sometimes it's hard to start a business. You're not sure, like, what all the ins and outs are, and you have to take like different classes from people. And that is something like Toastmasters helped with, like different things like that. And also just anybody I can surround myself, I started doing. So I'll tell you a little story about kind of where I fell down and I realized I needed to get back up. At one time I stayed in my car to get heat because I didn't have heat in my home. And I was too ashamed to tell anybody because I was running myself ragged on my business, and my team wasn't making money. I wasn't making any money. And like I said, the bills were paid, but that was just basically it. And so one day I remember laying on the ground in my salon, 1:00 in the morning, scrubbing like where the extra hair was. And I had just had my busy day. At that particular time, I worked over 15 hours a day. And hairdressers, if you're on here, when you're building a business or you're a busy stylist, you don't pee, you don't eat. We don't have lunch breaks. We don't have bathroom breaks. You're either deciding to shove something in your face while you're mixing color, or you take a next client. I mean, that's pretty much what our life is on occasion, or most of the time, I should say. So when I was laying on the ground thinking, I can hardly move my legs anymore. Why am I working so hard? Why am I not seeing my family, my friends anymore? And why am I doing so many hours? And where's the money going? Like, what am I missing? And so I went to a hair show shortly after that. And there was a class. There was a guy saying, are you guys tired of just not making money and living paycheck to paycheck and just working so hard in your business? And everything the guy asked, I was raising my hand. And I was like, this is me. This is me. Tears running down my face. I'm like, this is me. And so I had no money in my paycheck or in my checking account when I was in Maryland. And I thought, please make the money that's in there get me home on gas. That's how poor I was at that time. And he said, we can change your life and your business if you take this one class. It was $1,750. And I thought, I just said, I don't have money in my gas tank to get home, I don't think, let alone how am I going to do this? And something just made me say, like, I have to change for me and I have to change for my team. So I ended up putting in a credit card, was hoping that it wasn't going to be declined. And they let me just make a small payment on there. And then I could get back to them with the rest of the payments. I was like, okay, that decision. And I know you talk about decisions and mindset. I love that people surround themselves with other people that believe in the power of mindset. My mindset was so focused on this will work. This is what it's going to be. And I'm going to do this. And so I ended up going to that class that changed my entire way of thinking and my life. When we go to school for hairdressing, or I think a lot of crafts, you learn the skill, but you don't learn how to do anything with it other than the skill. You don't learn the business. You don't understand, like, I think I can do this, but I don't know. I really couldn't. Anybody else that can just snap their fingers and make a business work, good for you, because I know it wasn't for me. But after I started learning business stuff of running the business, that's when my life started to change. I started doing different things in my system. I started watching numbers better. I started doing all these different things. And then I started surrounding myself with all kinds of people. Like I talk about Tony Robbins like every day, probably, because he has shaped my life. Jamie Carlima, all kinds of people that had changed my life. And so, sorry, I know I'm rambling, but just to say, like, I started in a salon, opened a business, almost failed at the business, took some business classes, ended up making it work. And then I started making almost triple what I was making behind the chair as a stylist. And the average stylist, depending on what report you read, is anywhere from $9.80 an hour is a typical stylist, up to $10.72, I think it is, nationwide. So that to me, that you can't live on $10 an hour. So I don't know. I saw things that needed to be changing. And then, like I said, I actually pretty much over tripled what I was making per hour as a stylist behind the chair. And then my team started making more. And then we started tracking their numbers. So that's basically the story of that. And I ended up, I guess some of you guys might even know this, but in the West End, they were doing a road project right where my building was. I decided to close all of my other business and just focus on one thing instead of having myself in every different direction and making that one really good. And I know other business people, they say sometimes we get off track. We try to do too many things and not effectively one thing. And that's what was happening in my own business. So shut down everything, open one, spent a ton of money on redoing the business. I knocked out walls. I had a architect in there and designed different things. And we made apartments into the bigger salon and all that kind of stuff. No joke, Travis. This is what happened. I gave the check to the carpenter, his last check. He just did all this beautiful work. And I said, okay, thank you so much. And my neighbor came over that particular day and said, I know you guys have been doing a ton of work over here, it looks like. Do you know they're tearing down your building? I said, what? And here the state was going to be contacting me, because I guess they contacted him and said, hey, within 6 months to a year, we're going to tear down your building. I was like, are you serious? I just finally started making a ton of money. I started being profitable. My team started being profitable. I just paid a whole bunch to have a reconstruction, and you're going to tear it down. So that's what happened. So I don't know if anybody believes in God. I know I do. I feel that it was God's way of saying, I have better and bigger plans for you. Don't worry. And so my business was bought out, and I decided to just go small again because my child was 6 months old. And I wanted to be a mom more than anything in my entire life. I wanted to be a mother. And so I wanted that time with them anyway. And so I ended up opening a really small one in my house, which is when we met in Toastmasters because I was like trying to be just the mom and I didn't want to get into my normal self of a million things. And it just worked out. I ended up just taking clients that I wanted. Not that I didn't take clients that I didn't want. That I shouldn't say that out. People were like, "That's why you didn't take me." I just wanted it to be a few people. Why I raised my daughter, and then I ended up having a son, and then I ended up having carrots in the ceiling and everything else. While I was trying to work, my 2-year-old was trying to feed my new baby, and I was having clients hold the kids, and it just was kind of crazy. They said they loved it, but it wasn't a good business. You know, it was kind of absolutely insane. So that leads me to
So can I pause you real quick?
absolutely.
Yeah, because these aren't road bumps. These are like detrimental, like business ending, like complete like tears. First off, okay, so you were sleeping in your car. Um, you
I went in there to definitely get warm because I had no
yeah
heat in my house.
yeah. Okay, so you're in your car just to get heat, and then the the you finally you're getting that foot forward. You're starting to get so much momentum, and you're like you're building this. You're renovating your location, and next thing you know, Johnny Government comes in and says, "That's it. We're closing the building. We're demolishing it. That's it. You're dunzos." Um, wow, that is incredible. And you're like, okay, I understand. I need to now. I need to, we're big. Let's take what's working and and optimize it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're optimizing it for your family, and you're kind of playing past the baby with your um, with your clients, which isn't
Mm-hmm.
ideal. But they say they loved it. I'm sure they absolutely loved it, because clients tend to turn out to be friends. But whenever
Mm-hmm.
they come back to you and say, need a haircut, need a perm, dye, whatever.
Yeah, and hold my baby in the way. Yeah.
Hold my baby. Don't shake it. Don't shake the baby.
Yeah. Oh.
so so yeah, okay, so and it was right after, right when you like downsized, and that you and I had met at Toastmasters. I recall that because you're like, yeah, I just sold off this, I just sold off that, I just and you're just working out of my home for now. And um, we were when we met, you're sharpening your skills. So you've you've taken some taken your lumps. You know the ins and outs and ups and downs, and okay, and you needed to find to recoup yourself. Okay, so where are you at now, or like where at that point in your life, like
Okay. Well, you know what? Based on what you just said too, I want to kind of go back to something because if anybody's out there ready to start a business and you're kind of going through, like you said, the bumps, everybody has them. I'm not unique. You're not unique. Anybody is not unique in the bumps. You know what? We will all have them. Every successful person has failures. And if you don't have them, I don't think you're human, first of all. And second of all, I don't think you're going to be good in business because you haven't learned to to go through it. So thank you for bringing that back up. And at that time of sleeping in the car and getting, or not, but trying to get heat and had no heat in my house, the reason is because I wanted to make sure my employees were paid, of course, legally, and heart. I would never ever not pay an employee. And so at that particular time, working 15 hours behind the chair, I ended up taking other 3 other jobs after working 80 hours a week in my business because I didn't want to fail them and I didn't want to fail my business that I work so hard with. So if you're starting a business, and you're just going through that, know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to go through it and do whatever you can. If your mind tells you that that's something you're going to do, I think you have to make that decision. Make the decision of, this is what I'm going to do, and then do it. And so like I bartended at the night, I cleaned, I babysat after standing for 15 hours a day. So that is the whole heat thing, is like, I'm like, I didn't have heat and I still was working my ass off to pay the bills. But anyway, I had a home mortgage, a car payment, business loans, for 3 different areas, whatever. So that's what that came to. And then it was fine after I learned how to manage it differently. But going on what you said is, yeah, so I stepped back. So after I got the chaos going with my kids working in the business, I mean, having them in the business, my daughter actually was 3 and was working in the salon because she would like help me wash bowls, and she would shampoo people like and do little things. So she got so many tips. I swear she got more tips than anybody that I know. Her bank account was like because she'd rub their hands and whatever. Anyway, after my son came and decided, that it was just getting way too hectic with both of them there, I thought it's time to open back up. And so I ended up opening a location in New Florence area. It's near Seward. And I just went small team because I still, again, wanted to do like a lot with my kids and not run a huge amount of things. And my goal was to always do that until they were both in school, which is almost the case next year. But life had another twist for me, which is where we've been talking about lately, is the pandemic hit me hard. I'm a very social creature by nature. I hug my clients, like you said. They become way more than clients. They become your friends. They're great. So when my business got shut down, I couldn't see my team members anymore. I couldn't see my clients. I couldn't see my mother. All this stuff was happening. And I went into a little bit of a depression. I'm not a depressed person. I always get back up, but COVID killed me. I think and I shouldn't say it that way. That sounded horrible because I know what's going on. But mentally, I needed to get back out and talk to people. And so what happened is I decided to homeschool my kids. And I thought, oh, this is getting me away from people again, but I needed to do that. My kids have some medical conditions that when they have regular colds, they end up in hospital. So I was really scared of what to do with them. So homeschooling them. I didn't want my kids to sit in front of the computer the whole entire time, just sitting there not talking to a teacher. So we found this great resource, and I'll give them a shout out too, is OutSchool. For anybody that's looking for classes for their kids, OutSchool is a great platform. Found quite a few other ones. And so what it was a teaching program that was all taught live. And so I thought, why don't we have this for the beauty industry? We can't get to hair shows. Salons can't get trainers coming to them. I was a coach for different salons, helping them kind of go through their struggles like I went through. Why don't we have one whole platform? So salontraining.com has been built. It's an entire website for the professional beauty industry that stylists, salon owners, makeup artists, anybody that's in the beauty professional that wants to take a class, we merge together the trainer. So you get to go on. It's a free membership. You have up to 4 free classes a year or a month. So 4 free classes a month starting in May. All you have to do is sign up. So salontraining.com, be a member. If you want to be a trainer, you can also do that. So anybody that's listening, it's not just the trainers that are just teaching color. So we have accountants coming on, lawyers coming on, social media marketers, photographers. So if you are a business person that is a coach and you feel that you can help the industry, reach out to me. You can sign up to be a trainer on there, because the beauty industry needs different people like you, like Travis. I know we talked about you coming on because you are great at marketing. So salons need this to find different ways. So they can go on, become a member, become a trainer, and then you just pay for the classes that you're looking for. We have classes just about on everything. And then we also have a store area that's coming on. The shop we're working on in the next couple weeks is if you have an industry product, like such as books or hair products or something, salon equipment, all that stuff is going on there. So the beauty industry can go to one page, look for any classes that they want. They can take a class an hour. They can take a course that's a couple days. They can take workshops. there's so much on there. So if you go to our salontraining.com Facebook page as well, you can sign up. And we just gave away, Travis, like I need to get the number on this, but I think it was like close to $8,000 worth of stuff lately. And don't quote me on that number because I have to go back through. But trainers gave away $1,000 coaching session in calls, and Shark Fins gave away a pair of really amazing shears, and you name it, just kept piling up. All these trainers were giving away stuff, and we will constantly just do things for our members. So it's going to be a really fun platform. And the whole conversation of what we were talking about is not me. It's not about Tracey Napotnik living in the country. It's about business. And so I know your friends and your social club is about business. So what I'm here is not just to talk about salontraining.com. It's our mess in our life is our message. And that's how we can help other people in the world, I think. So if you're going to do a business, reach out to people like Travis, reach out to people that can get you to your next level, reach out to whoever you think. So
Yeah, and speaking of giveaways, you see this sweet Social Share Club founders jacket. I tell you right now, it's amazing spring jacket. Even late night summer, it gets a little chillier. These things are awesome. It's got awesome little thumb holes. So if you're
oh, cool.
super athletic or just want to look cool, I know kids love the little thumb holes. But so I am giving this away, not this particular one. This one's mine. I have another one for you. If for the month of March, if you bring the most guests, you have to get the most people into the Social Share Club Helping Businesses Thrive Facebook group. So whoever invites and they accept wins this jacket at the end. So all for the month of April, and then I will be announcing the winner in May. So make sure you invite your people to check out these live videos and grow the channel. But back to Tracy and you know it. So the cosmetology industry as a whole took a huge hit. I mean, there were months where people couldn't get their hair cut. You almost had to um, either cut your own hair or find someone underground that would give you a buzz or a trim or but a lot of us came out of quarantine looking like Chewbacca. I know I did. There's pictures. Check them out.
I think you should post them for us now, right?
Post those pictures. Post those.
Yes.
Give us your best post quarantine, or I should say your worst post quarantine haircut. Um, we got a couple comments. Kevin, whenever we were talking about bumps, he says there are always bumps, but it is all worth it. And Kevin, he's got a whole brood of kids as well. Over at Imperfectly Perfect Pizza. And
Ooh.
Eileen Graham just popped in. She says, "Congratulations, Tracy! You are amazing. Hashtag inspirational." So thanks, Eileen, for popping in, and Kevin for, just jamming out with us. It's you've the hardest metals are made under the hottest of temperatures.
I love that.
It is it's a fact, and it can be applicable to many different things, including business ownership. And you're gonna eat crow. You're gonna sleep in cars. You're gonna be very uncomfortable. But guess what? You have to love it. Um, and oh my goodness, I'm listening to David Goggins right now. Can't hurt me. So I'm I'm on the I'm ready to go run a what they call it, the ultra marathon or something. No, I'm not. I'm kidding. I, I tried running a couple miles yesterday, and my legs are just thumping right now. So I'm getting there. I'm getting there, David Goggins. But you've got a couple books there. So you know the you had yeah,
Not
Tony Robbins and
Jamie Kerlima. I don't know if anybody has heard of her on your thing, but I just recently found out about her like a couple months ago. This girl went through a lot. She went through 3 years of hearing no, 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 no's for her business. She wanted to create a makeup that didn't run. She was a TV anchor and she had rosacea really bad. And so her story is absolutely incredible, and it's fueled me for the new business as well. Um, and just for 3 years of hearing no, no, no's and hearing that she didn't look the part, she shouldn't be on camera anymore selling makeup because she just wasn't as beautiful as the other models, and they wanted her to be fake. And I don't I hate when people are fake because like that's just not your real person. So I really connected with her for that. Travis, I'm not sure how much time we have left, but if there's something that, do we have a couple extra minutes?
yeah, we can go. We're running a little bit over, but I'm not going to shut this down because we're a couple minutes over. So
Okay. There's one there's one thing that I learned, and it is the Tony Robbins thing, but we all have a temperature. So I love this one picture that I actually use this a lot in my coaching program. But there's we all have an internal temperature. So if you think of it, if you're 68 degreer, so if I love my temperature at 68 degrees, what that means is when you said about running, if you're not an avid runner, I'm not either, but I've been trying to get to the treadmill. When we are on weight loss or anything like that, or on a mission for a goal, we tend to do really, really, really good for the first couple weeks, and then what happens is we get back to our temperature. So we might listen to a speaker, we might learn something, and we might be on fire to get a business going or something, and then our degree goes up to like 98 because we are just like so pumped at that particular time, but then the average comes back. And then sometimes all too, if you get depressed or you lose a loved one or something, and you hit rock bottom, or your business fails, then you end up getting to that temperature of say 50 degrees, and then your body will allow you to come back up. So does that make sense? Like we are average of what we are average at. Does that make sense? And then we'll fuel up, we'll fuel down. So the mindset is huge. Once you train your body to react to the higher temperature and getting goals done, then you start to achieve things. And just with this whole salon training thing, the amount of stuff that has happened to try to knock this down is that would be 5 hours just in itself of just all the different things, or 5 days or 5 months of all the stuff that tried to knock this down. As far as like, I lost internet more times than I can even count. And I've never, ever had problems with my internet until I went public with an internet company. Isn't that crazy? I lived in this house now for 8 years. Not once did I have internet problems. January 3rd, or something, or right after we launched, is when I had major breakdowns with internet. I would be on call with sponsors or trainers, and it would die 5 times. It probably did with you, and you and I were talking, I think. I don't even remember, but you name it, we've had different issues that has come up. So, and it will. It just, okay, I either roll the punches or I'm done. And that's what everything in life. You either suck it up and figure it out, or you don't do your dream. So,
yeah, and that's what it really, you know, you're either gonna melt from that temperature, and you just kind of. I've been watching a lot of Forged in Fire, where they make knives and whatnot. So trying to, you know, so I'm learning about the different temperatures. But it's kind of just, if you screw it up, you go back into scraps.
yep.
But you have to be able to um, you know shape yourself into something more. What you want to become, not what you're forced to become necessarily. I think that is, you have to be able to reshape yourself. and redefine yourself. Many times, I'm sure you've had to redefine yourself as to who you are and what that looks like. Not only from as a business owner, running multiple shops, but as a mom, and then back to consolidating everything, and then now you are running the the salontraining.com, and with the void of hair stylists and cosmetologists and barbers, and there's still a need for education. There's still there's a void in in a lot of the gaps of salon training, and which you saw it. You're like there's problems here. Um, Eileen says, "Thank you for making my day better." Absolutely, Eileen. Love you, girl. Kev says, "Congratulations, Tracy." And yeah, because you're awesome. This has been awesome, awesome, awesome jam session with you. We'll have to have you back, and really once you launch salon training, and we'll do some more collaborations here shortly, huh?
Good. Awesome. Well, thank you for having me today. You have such a great club. It's so fun to see all the different ones coming. So I love it. Your club's pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you very much. Everyone here um, is awesome and supportive, and if you're not, leave. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Or you can leave. It's your choice. It's your Facebook page. So,
Oh.
but Tracy, where do you want to send people over to? You can send people over to salontraining.com over on Facebook.
Well, I have the business cuts and stuff still, but we're not really necessarily doing this for this reason to get more people because like our sorry.
Sorry.
Next time I'm definitely going back to my computer. Um, but yeah, cuts and stuff is there. But our main thing is if you know a hairdresser, this is really what the main thing is. If you know a hairdresser that you go to, um, talk to them about salontraining.com if you can, please, because I know how different education helped me grow my team and have my team actually right here in Indiana County, Cambria County. I have girls that are doubling and tripling what they did. And I'm not trying to brag. This is just systems that we learned through training, that they are making double and triple working in our company. That they've worked 9 years in a different place and made the same income, and that they've tripled that. So that's what I want to do, is not for my business, but for your stylist. I don't care where you go. I just want to help stylists. That's my main thing. That's what fuels my fire, is seeing that the industry grows. So if you can send them to salontraining.com, all they have to do is sign up to be a free member, and then they get 4 free classes a year plus different invites to different things, and then they can pay for whatever class that they're looking for. So they learn better skills for you, like learning new techniques for your hair and different things that they can offer you, that you see these pictures and you're like, oh, so it's a win-win for everybody. So
That is awesome. Thank you very much, Tracy. This has been a wonderful jam session, and really, I think a lot of people are very inspired by hearing your story. Um, Sometimes you just don't know how bad other people have had it, and not that that's a bad thing. It's propelled you to where you are. So people can say, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear about that," but you're like, "Wait, but that's part of my journey." It's that forge, the heat and the pressure that made me who I am today. So, um,
Oh, I'm just laughing because the one thing, whenever you said there was someone on here that has a lot of kids and different things, when you just said about you have to like forge and you have to figure it out. Um, Something that I had to do that I was embarrassed to say recently, but I'm not embarrassed anymore. It is my situation. So, most kids, like younger kids, go to bed at like 9 o'clock, 9:30, 8 o'clock, whatever time. I have to put my own kids. I feel so shameful as a mother. I put my kids to bed at 12:30 at night, 1 o'clock in the morning, and the reason is because then they will sleep till 12 o'clock in the afternoon, so I can do things like we're doing right now. I do all of my work in the morning. They still get 11 hours of sleep. So I even talked to the doctor about this, and they're like, "You're fine. You're fine," because they're getting the recommended hours of sleep. But I've had to switch their schedule. They love it because they get to, it's just fun for them, I guess. Um, but whatever you need to do to get your business and your life, just make that decision. Make it, accept it, and then figure out the bumps as they come. So,
Yeah, yeah, it's very interesting. And I mean, they're still getting their sleep. It
mhm.
doesn't. If they get go to bed at noon, at that day or at midnight that day. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't really,
Yep.
but you know,
Yep.
you're
Then we get them up at 12, and then we start homeschooling for 4 hours or so. And then we have dinner and family play and all that kind of stuff. And then my husband plays with them. And then I go back to work for a couple hours. So I work a little bit in the morning, a little bit in the night. It just works.
that's actually brilliant. And because you just got to make it work. It doesn't really matter how it works. It just works, and sometimes things don't necessarily need an explanation. So
Yep.
that is awesome. That is so good to hear. How not only that you're moving forward, but how you've moved forward from where you were. That's a feat. So kudos to you and your hubby. Um, it sounds like he's a big help as well. And
Very big supporter.
yeah, it seems like your internet connection's pretty stable now. So
Thank God.
thank God.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
awesome, awesome. Well, Tracy, thank you so much for joining me in this jam session on the Social Share Club. Um, like I said, we're gonna have to have you back, and we'll jump into more of your what you've got going on, and the launch of salontraining.com to train many other salon stylists and um, you know bring everybody up to speed on the latest and greatest, right?
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for your club too. Thank you for all you do for all of us. So
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I try to bring people in that are much smarter than me, so thank you.
I don't think you give yourself enough credit.
Well, I try. Um, I attribute a lot of that to regurgitation of well-read books.
That's a awesome way of saying that.
Yeah, yeah. So, if anybody's looking for some good books, I've just hit me up. I can point you in the right direction. From financial literacy to uh, trying to get enjoying the journey, right? Enjoying the journey can be
Mhm.
tough, especially when you're sleeping in cars and you're not in the position that you want to be. So figuring out who's running alongside of you, and for most of you that are joining me, you're running alongside of me. So, and I'm running alongside of you. So it's this group is definitely a collaboration, and really where I wanted to be and pulling on people's heartstrings by sharing stories as wonderful as yours, Tracy. So I'm very thankful for all of you because you're all my running mates as well. So let's we can keep picking up that pace, and I hope to be. I hope you will be joining me next time. Now that we've got the online events planned. So I will be putting more out next week for our next upcoming jam session. We've got some awesome folks coming up. Um, Let me think. Any other updates? Invite your friends. Bring your friends. Um, Add your husbands. Add your wives. Add your kids, and you may be able to win this here founder's jacket. So, including you, Tracy, you can keep
Awesome.
adding. So,
Cool.
I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their week and happy hump day on this beautiful Wednesday morning. So, all right, thanks everyone for hopping on, and I hope to see you next time.
Thank you, Travis. See ya.
Thank you, Tracy.
Have a mindset of curiosity. And so there can be a lot of pressure to perform. It's like, I really want to make this dream happen.
There's an understanding of mental health and well-being that people don't really realize.
Exercise is the best medicine that there is.
You gotta believe in yourself. You gotta believe you can do it. You gotta push. You gotta want it.
Adding to positive conversation and elevating everybody's vibration on some level.
I should have done it sooner because you've taken so much burden off me. You've taken so much time that I've wasted off my plate.
You've got to take that leap of faith and step a little bit outside of your comfort zone.
What is going on, Social Share Club? Travis here, and I've got a special episode. But without further ado, grab the like button.